Every spring, many gardeners fire up their rototillers or dig into their heavy beds with shovels, thinking it's the only way to prepare for planting. But here's the surprising truth: constant tilling does more harm than good. It breaks apart soil structure, disturbs the very microbes that feed your plants, and leaves you exhausted before seeds even hit the ground. The good news is that there's a much easier way to keep your soil soft, friable, and ready for planting without wearing yourself out. Once you learn this, you'll wonder why you ever bothered with back-breaking tillage. The problem with over-tilling goes beyond labor. Tilling feels productive because you see soil breaking apart in front of you, but the fluffy texture it creates is temporary. As the soil dries and rains compact it, it often becomes harder than before. Worms retreat, fungal networks are shredded, and the organic matter that keeps soil loose gets burned up faster. That's why many gardeners notice their soil becoming more compact with each passing season despite all the effort. The cycle of constant tilling creates dependence on more labor, instead of building a system that works on its own. Keeping soil soft starts with feeding the life inside it. Soil is not just dirt, it's a living system filled with bacteria, fungi, and earthworms that can do the work of tilling naturally if you give them the right food. Soft soil is the result of life breaking down organic matter, leaving behind tunnels, glues, and aggregates that resist compaction. The most effective way to encourage this is through constant additions of organic materials. A layer of mulch on top, whether it's straw, shredded leaves, or wood chips, slowly feeds the soil community. Beneath the surface, roots from cover crops like clover or buckwheat open channels that worms follow, naturally aerating the soil. In this way, the living system does the hard work for you. Mulching is the lazy gardener's secret weapon. Instead of tilling before every planting season, I rely on mulch to do the heavy lifting. A 3-inch layer of straw or shredded leaves across the bed keeps rain from compacting the surface, suppresses weeds, and steadily adds organic matter. Within a few weeks, worms begin pulling the material down, creating air pockets and improving soil structure. For clay soils that feel impenetrable, cardboard beneath the mulch works wonders. Lay flat sheets of cardboard, wet them thoroughly, and cover with organic mulch. Over time, the cardboard breaks down, feeding fungi and loosening even the tightest soils. By the time planting season comes, the soil beneath is moist, soft, and far easier to work than if it had been tilled. Another step to keep soil soft is layering in compost. Not a thick layer tilled under, but a gentle top dressing that mimics nature. Spreading 1 to 2 inches of compost over the soil before mulching adds nutrients and jumpstarts microbial activity. The microbes secrete sticky substances that bind soil particles into crumbs, a process called aggregation. This crumb structure holds air and water, preventing compaction and keeping the soil loose. If you repeat this year after year, your soil will stay soft without ever touching a tiller. For gardeners with larger beds, or who want to rest an area between plantings, cover crops are an excellent alternative to tillage. Plants like rye, oats, or clover grow thick root systems that penetrate even tough soils. When you cut them down and leave the roots to decay, they leave behind open channels that act like natural tillage lines. Earthworms move through them, moisture follows, and future crops benefit from improved structure. A simple example is to sow oats in the fall, let them grow through winter and cut them back in spring. The soil left behind will be soft and crumbly without a single pass of machinery. Here's how it all comes together. After harvesting a crop instead of tilling, spread a thin layer of finished compost over the bed. Water it in, then lay down cardboard if your soil is especially compacted. Cover that with 3 inches of straw, shredded leaves, or grass clippings. If it's the growing season, pull back the mulch just enough to plant seeds or transplants directly into the compost layer. If it's fall or winter, sow a cover crop over the top and let its roots work for you. By the time you're ready to plant again, the soil beneath will be naturally soft, full of life, and ready for your next crop. The real secret is letting nature do the tilling. When you stop trying to force the soil and instead feed it, life takes over. Worms tunnel deeper than any shovel. Fungi weave networks that hold the soil together yet keep it loose. Roots break apart hard ground, then leave behind organic matter when they die back. This is how natural ecosystems have kept soil fertile for millennia, and it's the same principle that can turn your garden into a thriving, low-effort system. Tilling is too much work, and it isn't necessary if you let biology take the lead. By focusing on mulch, compost, and cover crops, your soil will stay soft season after season with less labor and better results. Stop fighting against your soil and start working with it. The payoff is richer harvests and healthier beds without the backache. Subscribe to Hydro Haven for more soil revival hacks, compost shortcuts, and proven methods that make gardening easier, more productive, and better for the land. And don't forget to share this with a fellow gardener who's still wearing themselves out with the tiller.